Another thing that will save you is just try not to talk about problems or issues with other coworkers who have nothing to do with it. And I know it's easier said than done because sometimes you build close connections with certain coworkers, but understand that they may be building certain connections outside of that too, and probably with the party that you're going against. So you may want to not say too much, and you don't want to come back that, oh, you were saying this, and you don't want your name in any unnecessary drama, issues, problems. So when you're doing all of this, just try to keep your mouth closed and just do your job straight up. And it could be hard, especially you have that one coworker that's slacking and everybody else is working hard. You know they're going to be talking crap. Like, oh my God, I can't stand working with this person. But you just try to keep it to a minimum. Because also some of these jobs are recording. I don't know if people know that. They're like recording. They have cameras. They can listen. So they know what's being said. But yeah, just documentation, keeping yourself protected, and always tie it in to the client, tie it into the company's goal, because you're forcing them to put their money where their mouth is. You say that this is an honest organization built upon truth and hard work and diligence. Well, this is someone who is not hardworking. What are we going to do about it? So that will save you a lot. Format and delivery will save you as well. That's basically it. Always, of course, try to speak respectfully. You never want to get yourself to the point that you snap or you get ugly, because at that point they stop listening. And they're quick to document those erratic behaviors from someone else's disrespect. They're not going to document the disrespect the other person did. They're just going to document that you lost your cool, and that will be documented. And it's going to bite you in the butt because it's going to be used against you. So keep your cool. I would suggest before you get to that level and that point, you need to already have started your process of communicating the mishaps and what's going on and the unfair treatment that's going on within your workplace. Don't hold it in and, oh, I'm just gonna let that slide, I'm not gonna say nothing. And then when you've had enough, you blow up publicly in front of the whole facility. That will work against you. So try not to let it get to that point. You want to nip it in the butt as soon as it happens. As soon as something occurs, you could mention it, preferably the same shift, or at least within 72 hours of the event. You want to have mentioned something in some form or fashion, casually, in their office, in an email. The cutoff time, I would say, would probably be 72 hours, because that's usually the standard, especially like in the medical field. 72 hours is usually, by then, if something has happened, we want to know. So that would be good to live by in all companies. I think 72 hours, 3 days is fine. So of course, if you're not going to be at the job for 3 days because you're on vacation or you don't have your shift yet, so yeah, you may have less time. You may need to do it that same shift for sure. Don't tell me 2 weeks about something that happened 2 weeks ago. What am I going to do with that information? Especially if it's not documented. And what does that say about you? Because that's it will come off as negligent in your part if you're not on vacation that you mentioned it now. It's kind of tricky. So you have to protect yourself first and also protect the clients. And get very comfortable, very used to your bylaws of the company. Know them in and out. It will save you. When they give you those seminars about, like those HR seminars and the employee orientations, pay attention. Don't save all those books. Actually pay attention, because it could save you in the long run. If it involves the clientele and you're having issues with the clientele, I would suggest learning service recovery, how to spin it back around. Usually with clientele, I've always suggested to my team, explain. No matter what company you're in, if a machine is down, the ice cream machine, soda machine, there's no more chicken, whatever it is, where it's a long wait time for patients, wherever you happen to work, explanation. Sometimes communicating and explaining the situation will, not all the time, sometimes it will bring the client back to reality. Yes, you will have entitled people who will never understand inconvenience. That's fine. Sometimes that's a lost cause. But you don't let it lose your cool. Understand that their entitlement is their problem, not yours. You can't help that. The kind of help they need is another type of help. Think about it that way. So when you see them fighting you on it, don't engage, don't fight. Just, you say, you use, okay, ma'am. Again, right now we're having this issue. Let me explain to you what's going on. As such, we cannot, fulfill this request right now, but we can within the next 5 to 10 minutes. You end it with the expectation. You reset the expectation. If you're known for giving customers service quickly and it's going to take it's a 2-minute delay, explain that. What you don't do is not explain the delay and have them address you about it first. I always say, if you already know there's going to be a delay, you already know something's running low, you already know this is happening, set that expectation as the client is first coming to you. You start off with your pleasantries and your introduction and your greeting, and you explain, right now, this is what's going on. Right now, we don't have this available. Right now, this is down and the delay is 2 minutes additional. Is that, are you gonna still get it? Are you still gonna sign in? Are you still gonna get your food? What are we doing? Give them that choice. Don't surprise them. Let them choose if they're going to handle that, but make sure your delay is what it is. Don't tell them it's a 2-minute delay and it's 5 minutes. Always tell them 5 minutes, and if it was me, I would say 6 or 7, because I want to manage the expectation to the point that it still looks like I'm giving you service quickly. Because if I tell you there's a 7-minute delay and you get your stuff within 3 minutes, oh my God, it wasn't that bad of a delay. That's what they walk away with. Be smart about it. Use it to your advantage. Reset it and set it higher than what it really is, so that way when you come through quicker, they will praise you for it most of the time. And it'll be like, oh, it wasn't a big deal. I'm good with that. Because you told me what it was. You weren't lying to me. You weren't sugarcoating. You told me straight up before I even paid, before I even signed in. You told me what the wait time was going to be and what was the expected time and what's the average, right? You explained what the holdup was also. And you came through earlier than what was expected. Service recovery. Offer them something that is there. Oh, while you wait, you can, while you wait, you can go to our refreshment station and have a beverage. Oh, you can get some complimentary coffee while you wait the additional, time or whatever it is. Okay, thank you. They feel good because you offered them something. Even though it's free, you offered it. People love free stuff. So learn to use that to your advantage. If you see them getting... And also another thing too, follow up. If you know you have this person waiting 7 or 5 minutes, before those 7 minutes are over, you know when that 7-minute mark is going to come. They're going to walk up there and be like, okay, you said 7 minutes. Give them an update before the 7 minutes or before the delay. Ma'am, I just wanted to let you know that I spoke with the doctor and he'll be right out with you, or you're next. He'll be right with you. I just talked to him and he's going to come out and talk to you, okay? All right, cool. Sometimes you telling them 7 minutes as a nurse or a front desk person, whatever you are, you as the first person of contact, you telling them that 7-minute delay. If you go back and talk to the doctor after 3 minutes, let's say, and you go and talk to the doctor, look, I have this patient out there and they're a little antsy. I already told them it's a 7-minute delay, but is there anything? The doctor might say, well, honestly, I'm more backed up now and it's a 14-minute delay, but guess what? To help with the communication and to help with the service, me as a doctor now, I got this white coat. I'm going to walk out personally, and even if I take 30 seconds or a minute to walk out and say, hi ma'am, I'm the doctor, and I already looked over everything and I see you're here, and I just wanted to let you know that we're getting a room for you right now, and we're getting a room for you right now, and I just want to let you know right now we're looking at an additional 5 minutes. You know, we got a little more backed up with 5 minutes, but we're cleaning the room for you. She don't even notice that it went up to extra minutes now. They don't even notice that it went up to extra minutes, because why? They saw the doctor. The doctor came out and talked to me. So that's enough to ease my concern for like 30 minutes. Right? And he told me they're getting a room for me. This is someone different now. I'm not forgotten about. That's all I care about. They just want to know nobody forgot about them. Even myself as a customer, when I go to the establishment and they tell me it's a 30-minute wait, I'm like, okay, cool. But you know what I love more is when I've been waiting for 20 minutes out of that 30 minutes and the person lets me know they didn't forget about me, and they say, oh, they'll be right with you, or I just talked to them. It's like, wow, you didn't forget about me. That's all I want to know. Because if I feel like you forgot about me, oh, we're going to have problems. Because now 30 minutes done passed, come and gone. We're at 45 minutes and you haven't said anything. And you're there on your computer trying to act like you don't see me waiting. You see me waiting and you know you told me 30 minutes and it's now 45 minutes. We have a problem. I mean, I'm usually really more understanding than that, but I'm usually in my head saying, really? Are you just gonna act like you don't see me? Yeah, it's been, and you always tell, because that person, like, they don't want to make eye contact. They try everything not to make eye contact with you because they know they told you 30 minutes and it's 45 minutes. Yeah. So learn to manage the patient's expectations. That will help with you understanding how to communicate with that client in the workplace. A simple call, a simple check-in. Even if you check with them sometimes to make sure they're comfortable. You check in with them. Oh, did you want me to turn the channel on something you'd like to watch, ma'am, while you wait? Oh, no, thank you. They feel special. They feel like, oh, she's paying attention to me. Oh, I forgot why I'm here. And they love being out there relaxing because they know they're next and they feel good, and that's all you got to do. Sometimes taking them to a room and moving them makes them feel good. You ever see when the nurse comes to get them and puts them in like the triage room and they sit there for another 15 minutes? Hey, it's just it's the setup, because it's like I'm moving, things are progressing, versus me standing out there in the lobby just waiting forever. It's the same thing. You're still waiting, but you're waiting in a different room. Progress. That's all I care about, really and truly. This is why you put them in the room, you get them to put on their gown. This is why we have those kinds of things, because psychologically it's making them feel like, okay, things are happening. But check on them always. Let them know, hey, we'll be right in. Okay. That's all it is. And that will save you a lot. Explain, explain, explain. Explain what's going on. Of course, you want to keep confidential information confidential, but you can explain the process of what's going on in the back end for the staff. You could explain that there's nothing wrong with managing that expectation, because we're all human and we should be able to understand that things happen, and but it's about letting me know as a client what's going on. So it's important to do that. And when in doubt and the communication falls through with the client and you're unable to fix that, always have a person in place that is in charge of giving that high quality customer service. I know for my work experience, I'm usually that person that has to do service recovery. So in addition to my actual task that I had to do daily, I also had to deal with unpleasant, dissatisfied customers. That is kind of my forte, my niche. I could probably write a book on how to deal with a dissatisfied customer and how to save every dissatisfying situation. I've seen it all. I've done the Disney treatment. I've done it all. I've even had situations where I've had to bring the client to reality because they were being disrespectful to the staff. And so my job is, not only am I an advocate for the clients, but also the employees as well. I think it's very important now that companies try to do that, because that is what's going to make your employees happy. That is what's going to make your clients understand and not be disrespectful. Because yes, we may learn that the customer is always right, but that's not necessarily the case. Sometimes you have clients and customers that are not right. They're very rude and disrespectful, and they get very violent, and that should not be tolerated. No employees should be allowed or expected to tolerate disrespect or violence in the workplace. I don't think I know any company with that as their mission statement or part of who they are as a company and an establishment. So it's important. So sometimes I've had to get some clients together real quick, and I still do so in a very professional and a very pleasant way. It's a beautiful science, to the point that the client will then turn around and say, you know what, I'm sorry for how I acted. You were right. I really shouldn't have done that. And, everything's all good. And, thank you for all your help. You've been amazing. You helped me. And but they understood. And I wasn't playing with them. But it's all about understanding human behavior, the psychology of individuals, that we're all human, and whether we want to believe it or not, we all have a basic principle of understanding and trust when we are giving our services to the community and when the community is relying on us to help them. It's supply and demand. There's a need and there's someone to fulfill those needs. So understanding that you want this, well, this is what is expected. So understanding that dynamic and how to balance that will help you out a lot with the communication in the workplace. So I was always that person that had to deal with the dissatisfied customers. So I have had to communicate with unhappy people for majority of my work history in some form or fashion. I even started out as before working in the hospitals, before anything with nursing, anything like that, I started out with brides. Can you believe it? My first job was dealing with brides. So trust me when I say I've dealt with every type of dissatisfied client there is. And it's a formula, it's a science, but it works. And it's explaining, it's resetting the expectation. And as you're resetting it, you're surpassing it at the same time. So it comes off as though you still set the bar high. Like it's a science, and trust me, it works. And it just, again, understanding all this whole communication series, if I had to sum it up with one rule in every domain where communication is needed, I would say the basic underlining principle is understanding each other, understanding what we want, understanding what we can give, understanding what has happened and how we're going to get to that point to where we're both happy. It's all understanding. And once you do that, you got it in the bag. You'll know exactly what to do. So that will be it for this series. To go over the points we discussed in the first series, the first part of the series, communication and relationships. We went through the steps and the process, understanding where the relationship is, what are the goals, our triggers, and coming up with compromises and resolutions, feedback and accountability. Also, acknowledgement. We also said that was pretty much the same for friendships, with the exception that with friendships there's more wiggle room and leeway as far as timing was concerned. Give more time to your friends because they have their own issues, their own relationships that they're also dealing with. So you may be on the back end. So the expectation is it may take more time for them to communicate certain things with you, especially when there's issues within the friendships. Also with third parties and mutual friends. If you are the middle person or the person who is not a part of the feud between two or more friends, you want to stay out of it. Workplace is a little more complex, a little more different. You want to focus on the overall goals of the company and the mission statement. You want to focus on the bylaws and the code of conduct. You also want to focus on the different personalities in your workplace and how to relate to everyone, because it will be different for each individual coworker. Also, documentation, organization of the events that are happening that you want to discuss, the issues that you're having on the job, document them. The format and delivery of those forms of communication is important, whether it's email, whether it's sit down in person talking one-on-one, or just a casual conversation. You want to incorporate conflict resolution from employee to employee. When communicating with clients, again, reset the expectation, service recovery. If you can't fix it, then you need to instill the help, use your resources, use your HR resources and tools, your employee orientation tools to help with the clients, communicating with the clients. If you absolutely can't solve it, then there's usually always a person that is specialized in dealing with customer service, or there should be. If not, give it to the boss to deal with. Make it their headache so that way you can focus on your job, thus making the other patients happy. And you're doing what the company wants. So that is the advice I have for this communication series. If there's any other aspect of communication that you guys want further advice on, please let me know. Leave a comment. I didn't mention family because family, pretty much I relate that with friends. I would say that with family you can also incorporate the same tools of clients in this, or not clients really, but coworkers, in the sense that the different personality. You have to just know that different strokes for different folks, and you're the messenger, so you're the one who will have the expectation of structuring that message in a way that the receiver can understand and relate to the message. Because what's the point of giving the message if the receiver on their end isn't ready for the message or doesn't even know how to take it? So cater the message to the receiver. It's okay. It's only for this one time. It's only temporary. Your only goal is to get the message across. That's it. You're not the receiver. Who cares how you want the message given to you? You're not the receiver. Give it to the receiver in the way that they understand. Cater the message to the receiver. Simple. If you do that, you'll have no problems. Just do it. Simple. Because you already got your message across, and that's it. You wash your hands of it. What they do with that message is their business. But at least you catered it to them so they can understand, and you acknowledged the positives about them, and then give the message. That's another thing. Always validate their concerns and then lead into your issues and your concerns. And then at the end of that is when you restate your goals. Look, I understand this is how you feel about me. I understand that, and I understand that I've done this in the past, and that didn't sit well with you, and I'm acknowledging that, and I was wrong, and I apologize for that part and the part that I played. This is my issue with you, and my hope is that we will be able to sit down one day and talk about it so we can figure out how we both can benefit from the situation, how we both can communicate better. We both. This is not finger pointing. Oh, you're the problem. No. That's not going to get you anywhere. So when you are communicating, find something that you need to improve on and acknowledge that. Find something that you feel they feel about you. Acknowledge it. Yes, I know I'm difficult to talk to, and I apologize for if I've made it difficult to be around in the past. My issue with you is that I feel that I can't trust you, and this is why. And my goal is that we both can sit down and discuss ways that we can both be better. I really want to be able to be easier to talk to. I want you to be able to come to me about anything, and I also want to be able to trust you. So let me know what your suggestion is on how we can fix this together. Give and take, guys. That will get you a long way. All right, so that's it for the communication series. Bye bye. Peace out.